What will I draw today? When I decide to draw something and just make it scribbly and fun, it's not even like I decide. I just start drawing. If I think of it as something that's just going to be thrown away, then I don't really put any thought into it. And it just becomes this playful wildness. But the moment I start to think, I lose some of the spontaneity. I'd like to share that spontaneity with you today. I'm never sure if I can do it. It always seems like there's a little bit of control that I have. I want to make sure I don't go off the page with the feet. I want to make sure I leave room for 3 characters. Terrible mouth, but I don't care. That's what the whole point is, just scribbly craziness. This guy reminds me of that big orange guy in Bugs Bunny, that hair guy. What was his name? He was like a mop of hair. I forgot his name. This reminds me of that though. His feet went off the page here. See, that's when I start thinking too much. That's all right though. It's just fun. It's all fun. That's what drawing should be. Sort of like too big for a nose there. Maybe not. It's just fine. Scribbly, crazy. All sorts of choices. You could put teeth in. I stop talking then. I forget to talk. Is he excited to see them? Who knows? I like this look of anticipation, like somebody, the arms go back. Yay! You know, he's like, I can hardly wait to get my hands on whatever this is, this weird creature made out of cotton candy. Maybe he's a jack-in-the-frickin' box, huh? What do you think about that? Jack-in-the-box with one of those little handles on there like that. Jack-in-the-box, he's all like, boing. Am I gonna bore you with coloring this in? I don't know. Maybe I'll just go on to a new page. She looks a little bored, a little snooty. Now she's a little sad, I guess. Maybe drunk. Drunken hair flopping down like that. No chin on her. Chin would make it very different, you know? But I like the idea of there being no chin if she's a drunk. Now we want a nice arc here. This is called the line of action. We want to use, think of this as being in there. I know I talk about it a lot. We want a nice line of action in here to give her a nice, make her arm mimic what the hair does. See this? I don't want there to be a shoulder because the shoulder is too strong. See, a shoulder will make her too strong. If she's drunk, we want her to be stumbling forward. Put this kind of a dress on here. Her other hand can be here like this. I like the idea of not seeing the hand though. Now I am gonna shrink her down here. I'm gonna draw a little calf on her too, give her some nice shapely legs here. We'll add the skirt on here like this. See how this is working now? The calf is too big, just redo it. I like to draw loose and free and just redo things rather than sort of, what's the word, kind of like craft them or. So now we'll put on the skirt afterwards. See how that works? Add the skirt after. Give her a little bit of a belly there. But the first 3 characters on the other layer, that was just for fun, you know? That was just cranking stuff out. Didn't really go anywhere. Now I hide that. I got this interesting girl here walking inebriated. Now we could give her the shoes or we could make one shoe fell off. I did that the other day on the Whack Your Boss. I could draw one of the shoes here like this. You know, like she's doing the walk of shame at 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning. But I'll keep her with the shoe on here. I like that look. Classy. It would be funnier if her belly was more like that and her arm was hanging down so that you could really see the silhouette of the hand hanging down from the shoulder and the hand could be here like this. If I were to redo this, that's how I would do it. And obviously this looks more like a dude. But again, these are the choices I make when I'm drawing. But I like the way she is. The way she is fine. She looks like somebody who's pushing a door open as she walks, right? That could be an interesting look. She's going boosh. It's hard to find if it's this way here, right? If she's crossing the threshold. But that's just one way to go with this drawing, right? Where's she going and why? If we add a quick horizon behind her, then she's outside. Street lamp, some parked cars. And she's walking down the road. But if we get rid of that, we decide to add a moon in the sky, city, road. Why did the chicken legs cross the road to get to the KFC? So I've switched over now to the screen capture way of drawing, so you're just going to see the lines appearing. Her hand is bugging me because she doesn't really have a thumb. It's more like a starfish. So I want to erase this hand, and I'm going to make clearly 4 fingers and then the thumb at the bottom. So we've really got that look of her pushing open. And if she's inebriated, I thought, why not to try a little bit of these sort of bubbles? I've seen this look sometimes that if somebody's drunk. But as I drew this, I began to realize it looked more like a little motion in the ocean. So why not go for it? This is how stories develop. A little bubbles, and then suddenly a fish and an ocean, and we've got a whole new direction where the drawing is going to go. But let's stick with the breaking into a room here, shocking somebody else. Who is she shocking? Who is she surprising? Herself. That's right. Little narcissistic romp here. Draw 3 different versions of herself here, one on the left, one in the middle here, and one on the right. The reason I draw 3 characters is because I've been designing these drawing lessons so that I can then turn each lesson into a bunch of YouTube shorts where right now I'm doing a little close-up here on the fingers, but you'll see when I go back that on the right is a girl in the middle and then on the left, and I can split the screen, you might say, 3 times, and I can make a YouTube video of just the girl on the right. Then I can make a video of the one in the middle, and then I can make YouTube shorts of the girl that I'm going to draw on the left. Say I use those 3 then YouTube shorts to promote this longer drawing lesson. Now I initially drew her with her feet going down, and then at the last moment I decided to make her jumping up because, you know, we've already got somebody walking. Why not have somebody jumping? We've got somebody sad, and now we've got somebody contrasted with a shocked look on their face. So again, the idea of contrast. See, if I had the legs go like this, you'd have 2 shapes that are very similar. It's just better not to repeat those triangle shapes. And how about a line of action? We've got 1 line of action going one way, 1 going the other way. And now the 3rd line of action for the 3rd character is going to be similar to hers, except facing the other way. And even though she's sitting and she's working on her laptop, she still needs a line of action. There's still a dynamicness to her pose. She's looped over, drooped over, working on her laptop, ignoring the other 2 characters. But it's still important to have her have life, to have this line of action cause her to have a curved spine, a loopy, droopy look sitting on her chair here. Make a few different versions of the chair until I come up with the right one. Voila, as they say in France. She has just as much life as the other 2 characters, even though she doesn't have as much action in her pose, in her movements. But she has just as much life because she also has a line of action. Everybody should have a line of action, even if you're leaning on a table. Now I've got her glancing back. I'm trying to make a choice here. Do I want her glancing back and noticing the other 2? Or do I want her focused on the computer? It's all about choices. It's all about storytelling. I'm also noticing, look at how fat the lines are on the girl on the right. Look at her lines and her face. And then our hero on the left. I have her staring back at the computer now. And I'm starting to lay in the background, but I'm seeing that the hips are right across the line there. They're cutting into where the line of the background is. So it's a good thing to see. Let me show you again. When the line cuts across and it's cutting across their hips and their knees, it's not very good. I want a nice clean background, even if it makes more sense to have the background there. I'd rather have it drop it down like this, and now look, it doesn't cut across their hips. It cuts only across the table, the chair, and it leaves her knees nice and open so she looks like she's floating up. In review, I started off just doodling, cranked out those first 3 guys, drew her with her droopy arms, her wide leg pose here, walking, colored everybody in. We talked about the droopy arm, experimented with a door and a few different kinds of backgrounds, ultimately settled back on the background of the office here. For a moment, we tried fish, and then we go on to woman number 2 and woman number 3. Very different poses, walking, jumping, sitting. And they're all together in this little office with a wall that's very low in the frame. Everybody fits in beautifully. Thanks for being a fan. Thanks for playing my games over the years. Whack Your Boss and Duty Man and Whack Your Ex and Whack Your Computer. Click subscribe and click the bell so you'll get updates every time I upload a video. And thanks for being a fan. Did I already say that? I did. Oh, and check out the apps. Check out the apps on the App Store and on the Google Play Store.